How's everybody been this winter? It's been a warm winter. Locust is a pretty hard wood and it tends to crack as you're cutting it, so you kind of have to be careful as you're working it. But it really does weather nice once it's all sealed up. Okay, well, let's say I had this carving and this is exactly what I was doing. I was sanding in here with my big old heavy tool and I hit my finger. Mr. Finger decided he wanted to break off. There are some weak spots in this and I may just break these off and reattach them anyway. But this is, you can see what my little trick is here. Dot dot, press. I'll show you exactly. Now I don't know, let me see. Okay, I don't know if a marker's gonna actually stay wet long enough, if it's gonna actually saturate enough. You gotta get it lined right up and then press it in and hold it. Oh, and holy cow, it did. Alright, so this is a really cool technique here, guys. What I did first, I'll show you here step for step. So we broke that finger off, right? And you got to get it lined up exactly where it was, or else this is going to be very difficult. It's best if you keep the break, because you see its roughness. There's ridges here and lines that I have that I can line back up and get it to fit right back in. Okay, if you have to sand it, you want to get each of these planes perfectly flat. And that's a real pain trying to redo that, because as you sand and as you recut that, you're losing the position, you're losing everything on here, you're losing the width. I mean, if this were a fat piece to begin with, it depends on the stage in the piece too. I find it easier just to leave the original break. So the first thing that I do is I get my paint pen nice and sauced up. See all that shiny, thick, goopy paint? Oh, there's a nice saucing. So I want a lot of paint on here. Now I'm going to take that, I'm going to press that right in as hard as I can. I'm a tiny bit off, but I'm not going to move it now. Okay, so that's pressed in nice and tight. Now, here's the fun part. We take our marker. We get our marker nice and thick on there while the paint is still wet. And then we go in. And I want to be quick about this, because things dry quickly, and I want to push. I want to push as hard as I can on that. And yeah, I'm shaking a little because I'm squeezing really hard. So I want to push as hard as I can on that and hold it. And I take it off. And now the cool thing is, I have two center marks here, right? And you can see right on the finger, two center marks there. I mean, the quicker, it's a little bit blurry now because I've done this twice. So now I'm starting to make a mess. It's it's nicer and cleaner if you do it one time. Like do the white first, mush it in, then go back, do the black, mush it in, then you're done, then it's clean. Then you know exactly, you have everything set up. Now, I have a 3/8 bit here, and I have 1/2 inch dowel rod. So what that means is I'm going to take this dowel rod and I'm going to turn it down to make it fit. And the other thing here is we aren't exact. I'm probably even going to go smaller than 3/8. I'm probably just going to go with my Dremel and go in. And the hardest thing here is going to be to get the angle. Because if my angles aren't right, it's going to set this thing crooked. It's going to set it funny. So I have to sit here and figure out now, and this is the tricky part. Okay, so how am I going to do that? How am I going to keep my angles straight as I drill? Do you guys see what I'm doing here? I'm making a bunch of straight lines. Okay. I'm making a whole bunch of straight lines, as straight as possible. I could use a straight edge if I took the time to hold a straight edge on there. So that's not perfectly straight, but it gives me a point of reference. Okay? What I'm doing, these are reference lines. For where I want to drill. See, so I take that away, and as I'm drilling, I can see the angle of this line. Right? And I'll put a little circle on that line. And I'll put a little circle on this line. So when I'm drilling, I'm going to look and I'm going to follow the angle of that guy. And you can adjust. You can adjust your reference lines. Right? Here's an X. Because these are the ones that are closest to where the drill bit's going. Okay, so I want to straighten those out, and they're triangle. So you can do a lot just with ingenuity. As you're drilling, you can look on top here and look this way. Does that make sense to you guys? See, I have these lines, and we're going to see how it works out. So we're going to drill in. I mean, there's other ways to do this, but this is my little method to my madness, to getting it done, to keeping things going. I could stop and think about this all week long, but I'd rather just get it done, because I want to continue on the carving. So there's that line, right? We're going to follow that. We're going to angle in a little. Follow, follow, follow. And we'll see how this works. I mean, it's not an exact science. We want to make it big enough. We're going to try to keep our angles. And see, this is where things can get really screwy and wonky. This is why I like these reference points. Now, if I wanted to stay exactly on, okay, so taking it back a step, if I really wanted to be smart about it, yeah, I should have used the 3/8 bit because that's about 3/8 there. So that's a noble cause, and that's one way to do it. But the thing is you freehand that in, you're losing your center. So now I lost my center. I don't know where it is. Good. That's a little bit better. I mean, when you do things caveman, as they would say, that's what happens. Yeah, it's not as shaky now. Now see, that was a noble effort with the Dremel, but the problem with the Dremel is I'm losing center. So, it's most advisable to go with a drill. This is the hard part here, because even clamping this hand down, that's why I'm using a little wimpy drill for this. Alright, so my angle's about right, because see, I'm just guessworking. I've got kind of a crappy drill bit. Kind of a crappy drill. I'm just in that situation where I'm making do with what I got. You can be more precise about this, and I have been. I mean, when you're making furniture and stuff like that, there's all kinds of methods and ways to do this properly and mark everything out properly. I mean, the easiest way is just have a drill press and have everything so you can put it in a drill press and make it work for you with a vise. But we don't have that luxury here today with us. So I'm gonna make my pin. I mean, I could have just done one. Just make absolute sure if you slip, it's not gonna mash that drill into your hand, because that'll hurt. That will not be fun. And it's not the rotation I'm talking about catching you. It's if this went down onto my finger. Yeah, because we're putting a lot of pressure there. So this is good enough. Try to keep this as clean as I can. See, it's already getting all boogery. The more you work on pieces like this, the more boogered up they're gonna get. So that's where the time is invested. It's just in cleaning all these edges. Because the more precise I can be about this, the tighter I can be with it, the better everything's gonna come out to be. So this, I'm just gonna very lightly go right around the circle with these, because I haven't hit anything else to really disturb this. And this is just my way of cleaning these. You can do it any way you want. I'm being kind of fast and sloppy here. Because I have other things to do. I mean, you could spend all day making this fitting here. Do we all have that kind of time? Are customers paying that kind of money for a piece for me to get it absolutely perfect? No, I never charge that much. I mean, how much would this hand actually cost by the time it's done? $1,000 or more, you know, like, I mean, if I really got crazy with it, if I did it my way, if I could afford to do it my way, but normally I can't. I cannot afford to do that. So if I could find my calipers, I could actually get this measurement perfect. It's good if you have a pair of calipers, you can size this down, but I'm just going to do it by eye. Now you can use anything you want for this. You can use metal. You can use plastic. It's going to be buried inside the hand. Plastic might be cool because it'll flex. Metal too, you could actually push it. It might go into the wood if it were a softer wood. Or if you pointed the tips of the metal, then you could get it to bend in. Okay, so I want to take my time. I want to keep that as straight as possible and as even as possible. It's about to fit. And you see it's a little bit bulgy here compared to the middle. So I'm good in the middle. I know I'm good in the middle. The other thing is I'm using Gorilla Glue for this. There, it fits perfect. And it doesn't fit real tight, and you can You can fine tune these. It's very skinny here and it gets fatter here, so I may actually use this fatter part for my pins. I'm going to be using Gorilla Glue, and I like to warm the Gorilla Glue up right before I use it, because then it goes right in, and it's already warm in Gorilla Glue. We all know, if you've used Gorilla Glue before, we all know that Gorilla Glue dries. It dries faster on a warm day than it does on a cold day. So there, you warm it up real good, and it works great. Never-ending battle. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so here's the thicker piece. That's about right. I'm gonna guess. That one is a little, this one fits a little bit loose. I wanted a little bit tighter fit. And this is where I take risks that you guys shouldn't take, but if you're gonna do dumb stuff like that, just know where to hold it. So if it lets go, it goes flying and it doesn't come back at you. So that actually fits nice and tight. So I'm gonna sauce that one up with a little bit of glue.
Gives that a little bit of life to it. And you don't need a whole lot. If it fits tight like that, it's gonna fit tight. It's good if they have a little bit of play in them, because then you have a chance. And that's just it too, after gluing it, with a little bit of glue on there. I just want it to go in the hole and not squish back out. With a little bit of glue on there, it goes right in nicely.
And just tap it a little bit. We don't want to break it again. Now I'm gonna guess. I'm just guessing here. That's all I'm doing is guessing now. I'm getting very brave. You can always pull this back out with pliers if it doesn't work. Now look, it's like a finger with bones on it. It's actually like a real broken finger. Kind of gross, huh? You could leave it like that and really creep people out, right? If you wanted to. I don't like creeping people out. So we just want to sauce one-sided. I mean, we can sauce both sides. I want to give that a little bit. It's just so you don't have glue all over the place, because once it's all squished together, you're going to have glue going everywhere. And right there, I already feel where we're off, but how close to exactly where should I be? I mean, I'm that far off on my lines, which really isn't bad. I can squeeze all this together, or I can make or what I can do. Now probably what I'm going to do is squeeze this together, let it dry a bit, and then I have butterfly joint biscuits that I made, and see, I put them wherever I have a crack. I put them in a weak spot. I'll throw a butterfly joint in there. Probably going to throw one here too now that I have to recut this. You see, I like to repair. I like to do repairs. I think it's nice looking. I think it's part of the art. And it brings the value out in a piece to me, because that shows that I put that much more into it. And see, I'm even getting the lines. lined up here. I'm getting them lined up just by twisting that. And that's why you want to remain a little bit loose on your set. Okay? Because you can actually get it really dang close to where it has to be with just a little bit of finesse. Now I'm going to try so I have Captain Quick and his gripness here. I'm going to try this, but if it really messes things up, then I gotta try something else. I have other grippers. I have other methods of doing this if this isn't going to work. Because what you're doing here is you're pushing on an off-center piece. That's not always going to line up. Alright, so I feel like I need about 10 pounds of weight on this end, and then that's going to squeeze that together. Alright, so it's a balancing act. We have this can here and that can there. And it looks like it's holding that joint pretty good by the time I sand all this back down. The important thing is just checking all my joints, making sure that that joint is as tight as I can get it. So there's that for now. We're going to let that dry and we're going to continue this. Alright, so there it is. There wasn't much to the just the cleaning off. I just used a blade, strip it off. Kinda in a hurry to get this one done. So I didn't show a video of that cleaning off part, but you can see I still have some cleaning to do in between. Just a lot of sanding, a lot of dust making. Got to put the mask on. You see the butterfly joint here looks pretty nice. Well, there you go, guys. I think it came out pretty good. Little repair. Here's the overall carving all done. Now it's just got to dry. Now it just has to dry. Here's the overall carving done. It just needs a little time to dry. Say I put butterflies in those fingers. I don't really think it needs it because it has the pins holding it. I think it came out really nice. This is locust. It's a really hard wood. I kind of do enjoy working in the much harder woods. I don't have any problem cutting them or sanding them or shaping them. It's actually a fun challenge for me to try to figure out, you know, what tools and techniques I need to use. But yeah, hope that little tip helped. Hope you guys have fun out there trying different things, and you know, don't be afraid if you break something off. It can always be stuck back on.